Right now.
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 Because it's time to write now.
Right 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 now.
Because it's time to write now.
Right now.
Right now.
And we are live. Welcome to a Canva book cover design workshop. We are so excited to have you today. We're going to be exploring some cover design principles. We'll be looking at some popular book cover titles, and then we're going to go through a step-by-step tutorial to help you with designing your very own book cover. Because let's face it, writing a book, creating a book, developing a book costs money. And any way that we can find resources or tools to make it just a little bit cheaper, a little bit less expensive is more that you can save for marketing, for helping to improve your own writing skill set, and anything else. So welcome. And then, by the way, I'm Kauffman, daily writing streamer, working on the last Scarecrow, fantasy nerd, and believer that if you have a problem, just put a dragon on it. Awesome. And I'm joined by my fellow co-host, Miss Jayelle Dee. Jayelle, I'll let you intro yourself.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited about today. I started doing covers because communicating with cover artists is kind of a nightmare. And so I do all my own covers, including my new release, The Seed Bearer. And I'm super excited about it. And you do the whole thing on Canva, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. And I'm really excited to do it. So yay, we're here. I've been looking forward to this for so long.
I know. And I think when we were working on Faded Fantasy, I think we started talking about, like, let's do a cover design stream. Let's help out a lot of the authors in our community with working on covers, with coming up with cover designs, because that's something that a lot of authors could probably learn more about. And I know that's something that we really want to help out with. Jayelle, before we get into it, and I guess real quick to you, the viewer, if you're hopping in, make sure to stick around till the end, because we're actually going to be showing you some exclusive covers that Jayelle has yet to show to the public. So we're going to be showing you an exclusive cover design. So make sure to stick around, and we'll do that at the end after we've gone through the workshop. And let's see what I got. By the way, welcome, friends. Rachel, so good to see you. Like, not sure I can stay long. I must have missed the notification, but glad to see you here. Courtney, perfect timing for the stream. I've been working on my cover, and sometimes people need to see it done to learn it. Blast, ML, Nil, welcome. And Jayelle, I forgot to add why, and this is something that I didn't remember till just a few minutes ago. Why? What is your background in cover design, in just design in general?
Well, art was kind of my first love. I've been kind of one of those naturally inclined to art people, and I've competed in several contests with art. I've shown in a couple of galleries, and I went to school for graphic design. And I had a job in a couple of like small jobs in graphic design when I was right out of high school. But in my senior year, I competed in Vocational Industrial Clubs of America. They're also known as VICA, and won an Olympic gold medal for the state of Colorado for graphic design. I actually designed DIA, Denver International Airport, was just, it was just being built at that time. Is how I might be dating myself a little here, but I won to do the advertisement. They were going to put it on a billboard for the actual airport, and so I won the gold medal for that, and I got to compete nationally. So it was very
fun. We have a national cover design expert over here.
Oh, it's if you're good at it, you're good at it. You can always learn. If you don't think you're good at it, you can always learn. Always get feedback, just like anything else.
And I would love to hear from you here in the chat, whether you're watching live or here on the replay. What is your background in cover design, or just in design in general? Have you done some research so far? Do you like to use Canva? Do you use other platforms? What's your knowledge or expertise when it comes to design in general? I'd love to hear. Drop a comment. As for me, I started on not not for cover design, but I started for YouTube, as we all know, right? YouTube thumbnails, doing all the things that content creators do. I started on my design journey about 10 years ago. I actually did start off with Canva for the first year. I loved the use of Canva at the time, but I wanted more out of my own journey. So I ended up investing in Photoshop personally, where Photoshop is like advanced.
Oh
Took
yeah.
me, I've spent 10 years learning Photoshop, and there are still some things that I'm like not an expert on, but that's part of the journey, right? I think one of the things that I love about Canva is it's very easy to use.
Yeah.
It's very, very simple. It's straightforward, and it's super affordable. For anybody who's not like super familiar with the platform, Jayelle, do you just want to do like a very brief like overview, like what is Canva for anybody who's like never used Canva before?
Canva is a platform where you can do all kinds of designs.
Mm-hmm.
They have, and in fact, if you want to show are you showing Canva, or do you want me to
Yeah,
show
yeah. I
my?
just went to the main screen right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so they've got thumbnails, or not thumbnails, but they have pre-done to size graphic design for, you can do it for Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all kinds of social media. They've already scaled it for you. So all you have to do is put your stuff on it and boom, and it'll even publish things for you to those platforms. This is in the pro version. There's a free version and there's a pro version, and I paid for the pro version. But in the free version, you can still use all the templates, and then you just upload them and stick them into your social media of choice. And also you can do graphics, you can do videos. It has all kinds of, there's menus for doing layering. So if you want to do color depth and layer image on in different ways and put all your own elements, that's why it's so nice for design. And if you want to do a video, you can grab video sections. Like I've done video promos for my books.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you want to watch one later, I can certainly pull one up easily. And you can do a whole video promo, do your words popping up and disappearing, but it's really good for graphic design and doing and something easy because it's plug and play. It's drag and drop. You don't have to sit there and try and fiddle fart with it and it's just like absolutely boom, right where you want it, edit by drag and pull. It's so simple. I absolutely love the platform, especially if you're busy and I don't have time to sit here for 3 hours. Well, not 3 hours, but 3 days trying to figure out how to edit. Because I do have this really advanced editing software for videos, and I just sit there just pulling my hair out because it's so complicated. I just want to drag and drop and get it over with, and I can do that with Canva, and I love it.
Awesome. So absolutely love that. And of course, anybody who wants to go check out Canva. Once again, this isn't sponsored or advertised or anything, but we just really wanted to help out the writers in the community with a tutorial for a program that's really, really easy to use. And Jayelle, I'm not too familiar with the pricing. How much does it cost to use Canva?
Oh my gosh. I want to say I pay, oh goodness, now I can't remember. Like I think it's like $16 a month. I want to say I can look it up actually. I've got it in my.
You can do the 30-day pro trial. So if you want to just test out, you can just do it for 30 days for free.
Yeah, but you can also keep using it
for.
You can keep using the free version. You just won't have access to some pictures, some graphics, some video you won't have access to. But I used it for free for the first year. I didn't even start getting into Canva until I didn't start paying for it until like my second year. I'm like, I'm using this so much now and I'm loving it so much. I want to have these other options. And what it does is they pay for the copyright too.
It's $15 a month, right?
15,
like that's not horrible at all.
No, especially if you're using it for a lot of things. And the thing with Canva, they pay for the copyright for the images. There was some debate about, can we use Canva images, or do we have to track down copyright? You can. That's why you pay the pro version. Images in the free version are free images that are copyright free. Images in the pro version, some of them have copyright on them, and Canva pays for that. That's why you're paying Canva, so that they are pulling these really cool picture models and graphics and all kinds of neat stuff, even sound effects, music. There's music on there, all kinds of things, and they pay for that so that you don't have to worry about stepping on any toes copyright wise.
That is so, so cool. And by the way, welcome, Just JW. You're like, I do some freelancing and graphic design. Canva. Just Jayelle, we'd love to hear your opinion on how Canva's worked for you before. We have so many freelance designers in the audience and in the community. Would love to hear. Rachel's like, I love Canva. Jill and I were co-conspirators in Faded Fantasy. Oh, so much fun.
She
But
carried the weight of it, though.
Right, Rachel is absolutely incredible as well. Another incredible mind when it comes to design and some design philosophies.
She's such a rock star.
And also, right, so Rachel also has background in television as well, right? So that's another type of background and expertise. Blast is like, no design experience before making a couple of covers. I watched YouTube, then started working with an Adobe Illustrator.
Ooh.
Let's see. And then Courtney, I talked with an artistic friend and we went back and forth on my vision and bam, she drew it on her tablet.
Nice.
Well, that's what it does, right? So there's a couple different routes you can go, by the way, to keep a welcome back, my friend. So there's a couple different routes you can go, right? And this is like everything in the writing process. Either you, based on what your budget is, either you take that money and you invest it into hire somebody to do the thing for you. Or let's say, like, hey, I got a lower budget. I can't afford to do all the things. I can only pay for one thing. Then you save that money, but then you invest time, right? Because then you have to invest time for yourself to learn it. And for a platform like Canva, that's actually really easy to use. The amount of time, the barrier to entry is very low.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, and also I worked with 2 different cover artists on my first book because I was thinking I should just outsource this. I've got other things I need to do. And I probably paid $500 between the 2 of them. The first one was very expensive. I liked what he did, but it still didn't quite ring my bell, if you know what I mean. So I basically designed the cover and sent him my concept, and then he took it and added a couple things, but there was something off about it. Then I went to another guy for my second book, and the first guy for my second book missed the mark. Oh my God, totally missed it. And then he was like, well, I can't use the images you gave me because of copyright. And then that's how I learned, can you use Canva images? And I did research. I read all the laws, all the rules, all the regs, all the fine print. And I went, yeah, you can actually back off, dude. So I went to a different cover artist and I cried. I'm like, I'm going to pay you for your time, but I'm taking it over, people. It's happening. And
yeah, it's sad because I've heard that from other writers before when they've hired cover design artists to do their work. And I think it's hard because you, as an author, and right, as we all know, we tend to have an idea or vision or head in what the cover should look like. And if we don't have an understanding in terms of design and principle, bringing that to life can always be a challenge, right? And then if we don't understand what our core philosophies of design is one part of it, and then B, book cover design is a whole separate thing, right? There's a reason that certain elements are the way they are. There's a reason readers choose popular book titles. And I think now let's hop into it. So what we're going to do, before we get into the Canva, the workshop itself, I felt like it would be really good for us to talk about some just very basic design principles. And I would love to see, if you're watching, what are there some things that have worked for you? And then we'll hop into some popular book covers. Why do they work? How do we know which popular book covers in the market are working and why? There's a reason when you go to the bookstore that half the bookshelf looks like the same cover design. There's a reason for that. And we'll get to that in just a second. So when we think about basic design principles, what are some things that come to mind for you, Rachel? Jayelle. I'm like looking at Rachel now. I'm thinking Jayelle.
I'm sure she'd agree with me. What is your focal point is where you want to start. What is your focal point? And then your highlight. Your highlight should be your title. Focal point image, highlight of title. You also want to get your author name to pop. This is what's so tricky about book covers is everything is important. It's all important. And it's like, how do I pick focal point, title, and then you can, and if you want to, you want depth, you want color contrast. It's so important. That's what makes covers pop, is having that contrast. Then people go, whoa, what's that? And then something but also is genre specific too. So, but when I think of basic design, I want to start with a focal point, the title, and the author name. And if they have a tagline, that's the last thing I consider.
And when I think about a couple of just very basic design principles, something that I always like to tell people when you're first trying to understand design is go spend 2 hours and look up color theory. Color theory is very important in terms of deciding which colors should match which one's contrast. This is a color wheel. There's so much research you can go into it. There's a reason that, like Jayelle said, when it comes to focal points, there should be like a focal point of the image, but color is designed around it, and the eye should be drawn to certain elements based on aesthetic styles. There's principles for everything when it comes to design. And when you think about, as a viewer, when you think about advertisements you see, or YouTube thumbnails, or social media posts, the ones that do very, very well, the images anyways, not the videos, but the images are usually because there's a lot of aesthetic intentionality behind it that
And
works
intention.
and that is pleasing to the eye.
I love that you said aesthetic intentionality, because one major aspect that people don't think of if they haven't been like trained to is flow. Where does my eye go? If it's doing this, the cover is not good. If it's going bam, 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 it's good. Or is it going ding, 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 ding? Your eye wants to flow naturally. So you have to lay your elements out in such a way so that the eye knows where to go and what to look at. You're guiding people to a thing. So that's why in advertisements, look at any advertisement. What's the first thing you notice? The Coca-Cola bottle, and then, oh, polar bear, and so it's like, doom, doom, doom. It's layered this way, it's layered this way, or down. Whichever direction you layer it, you want to have image and then direct that eye.
Are there any favorite like images or ads that come to mind for you when you think of like very aesthetically pleasing?
I guess I don't really think about that. I don't know. I guess when I see it, I know if I like it or not. I don't like the chaotic stuff. A lot of YouTube thumbnails, as you were talking about, are very chaotic. They have so much information in them. I'm like, eh. And then I have to stop and go, okay, what am I supposed to pay attention to? I like clean ads. I love color. But if you're going to do minimal color, make it pop. And but I don't know if there's like too many ads I can think of right off the top of my head that, obviously the Coca-Cola.
It's interesting when you go look at YouTube. Actually, it'd probably be better if I did. Hold on, I'll do something on incognito. Makes you'll get a better sense for YouTube homepage.
Yeah, we're all gonna learn what Kauffman likes to watch.
I don't mind, but you guys will be able to get a better unbiased outlook. I was like, my stuff's not that interesting. Most of mine is just watching like YouTube, like how to be a better YouTube, motivational, inspirational, some politics, world stuff, and things like that.
Mine's filled with writing stuff, news, and like animal videos.
All right, let's go to. I was just going to go to. All right, so I was just going to go to what I pulled up for trending, and seeing. It's really interesting when I think about ones. All right, let's go to movies and TV. Is always a really interesting one. Oh, I was like, okay, I definitely thought it would pull up a bunch of ads. Clearly, that didn't work. All right, so. Okay, so better use of our time. Let's get into some book covers themselves.
Yeah,
and I think we'll be able to talk about some really great design aesthetic and work. So when we think about popular book covers, like I was saying earlier, right? When you go to the bookstore, so many book covers kind of seem very similar at times, and there's a lot of intentionality behind it. Are there any popular book covers that come to mind for you, Jayelle?
I hate to say this, but it was such an effective cover, was the 50 Shades of Grey covers.
All right,
they were so good. And because it covered two things. First of all, you can kind of tell what the story's about, because your cover needs to reflect what's inside the book. You can't just put a picture of a circle when the book is about a square. Okay, so you have to reflect the material. So they put some, if you'll, soft lighting, some innocuous object there, the tie. You see the tie, you don't even need the title. It's so iconic now. But
Mhm.
if you look at that, the soft lighting, the contrast of the sort of bluish gray hues with the black, and then it
Mhm.
gives you a color gradation, so it's not boom, it's soft, which is what you want if you're doing romantic erotica, which is what this is.
Mhm.
You want something that's going to look soft and smooth and sensual that kind of makes you go get your curiosity peaked. That picture of the mask is brilliant. Wow, a
Mhm.
masquerade. Oh, who doesn't love that? The key. Oh my gosh. I mean, once you're getting through, these are beautiful and brilliant. And one of the reasons why these were so impactful, because every single spicy book after this had objects on it. I even did it. I did it with a different color scheme, but I did it too because
Mhm.
this is kind of like ebooks were not that popular yet. And because
Mhm.
you would be surprised how old this book actually is. But women wanted to read this book in public without the chesty man on the
Mhm.
cover and making it, so people go, oh, she's reading that kind of book. It was private. It was intimate. And the title even doesn't tell you. It's very mysterious. It's interesting. It makes you curious. What is
Mhm.
50 Shades of Grey? And then you read the description and then you go, oh, let's dive in. So that's, I think, was one of the most brilliant marketing campaigns and covers ever.
Mhm. I'm curious what I get when I go under best. This is just gonna go bestsellers. Let's go bestseller books.
Look at fantasy. Look at a
Yeah,
fantasy category.
I've done this so many times. I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Like bestseller books in general.
Hmm.
My guess is this gives probably a mix of nonfiction and fiction. Um,
There's children's books.
mhm.
You can see children's books are bright, colorful, playful,
Mhm.
cartoon characters. Easy to see graphics, easy to understand graphics.
Powerful forgotten apothecary, 250 powerful remedies. So it looks like this is some type of like nonfiction work. Let's switch over to
That's
fiction.
like if you want to grow your own herbs and make your own tinctures.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me go up. Reads. Let's go Amazon bestsellers.
If you'll notice, like with ACOTAR, A Court of Thorn and Roses, as soon as those covers came out, every fantasy book looked like that cover. Everybody copied it.
That's very, very true. Let's go to, I'll pull up fantasy books. My guess is we're going to, let's see what we got. Forged in Blood. Let me see if I can make this. Forged in Blood. So it's interesting. So we kind of have a background in the back. This one is sponsored, but at 27,000 views. Let's see, what else do we got? Shadow and Bone. That the cover, Fourth Wing is a very, very, there's a reason that Fourth
Iconic.
Wing has worked very well.
Well, look at the contrast. The title
Mhm.
is almost all you see. It's like,
Mhm.
ooh, it's Fourth Wing.
Mhm.
Okay. And then you start seeing the graphics to tell you what the story is about. And it shows.
Right. So you see, it's very intentional where your eye's supposed to be drawn to the title,
Yeah.
right? But then when you can pull out, you're like, oh, dragons.
Yeah.
And it plays very, very much to that. Let's see, what else do we got? Let's see. Once again, dragon. Who doesn't love a dragon? And let's see. There we go. There's Court of Thorns and Roses, of course. ACOTAR, One Dark Window, Shepherd King.
So if you're writing fantasy, look at fantasy covers that are bestsellers. If you want to write science fiction, look at science fiction covers that are bestsellers. What are they showing? What is your eye drawn to? Can you tell what might be inside this book just by looking at that cover?
And a lot of the time, once again, there's intentionality behind everything, right? You might just think some of the elements are random, but let's just look at this one for a second. Sarah Parker book, right? Of Moonfall, obviously 46,000 reviews, national bestseller. But when you look at things that are at first seem there's a lot of randomness behind it, all of these designs are intentional, right? So there's a reason that this thing is here, this flying dragon thing. They do this stuff in the back here because it's all supposed to draw your eye to this title.
very etherical. There's
Exactly.
that dragon could be a ghost, it could be a spirit, maybe it is physical. It's very wispy, ethereal. It makes me think there's going to be magic involved.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And it's supposed to give you that overall vibe. Of course, fantasy does this a lot. And especially fantasy with Brandon Sanderson, where fantasy tends to revolve around a scene from the book or a character. That's very, very, very popular for fantasy. And of course, everyone knows Sanderson and the Mistborn trilogy.
And be careful if you get your heart set on showing a particular scene from your book on your cover, because not all the time is it going to be successfully executed. So, I mean, be careful about getting attached to an idea. It may not execute as well as you or present as well as you had imagined, but you can take that idea and you can form the cover elements with it. So I know a lot of people are like, I need to have this scene on the front cover. Do you though? I mean, be nice. It's cover design's not easy.
Yeah, it is not. It is not easy. And especially if you're embarking on something yourself. I think you can start with the overall genre, but I think if I was going to dig deeper, I would go into if I'm doing a subgenre specifically. And I know here on Amazon, you can go into the genres somewhere. It's been a while since
Yes, on the
It's like I know there's a subgenre element.
Yeah, if you click on them, it should bring up a drop-down menu if there is one. So if you go to like sci-fi or romance, it has a whole bunch of drop-down under that.
All right, so then if you go into romance, and I think okay, so then you can go into all of them. So like, what would what's one of your favorite subgenres?
In romance, well, I love the spicy. So I mean, anything that has, I don't know if they've got erotica on there. They always bury the erotica books. I don't know why, but they make so much money off of them. But anything that says spicy is good. Or
it will not show us spicy. Probably because we're on unless we do. I don't know if that's new adult. We got polyamory, love triangle,
try love triangle. See what love triangle does. Yeah,
love triangle.
My first series is love triangle, so let's just go there. Oh, look at this!
So we kind of see the first ones, right? So we have that's kind of cool, actually.
It's a beautiful image. So you're probably seeing the main character here. This is the woman who has the two interests.
But what's interesting is this first one. This is a cool image. 214 reviews. And now I look at this one where it's kind of a different style. Almost feels like a little like anime-esque, cartoon-esque.
It's a little campy and cheeky.
Yeah, this is the one with almost 8,000 reviews, right? Yeah, so clearly it works. Clearly it works.
Why do you think that is between those two images?
I think because this one, and I already know immediately, because this one makes me feel something because each of these characters are displaying a very clear emotion.
But also
some type of sex appeal or intrigue, some type of mystery or allure. This gives me the plot. This gives me the potential plot of, okay, so this is going to be some type of like hot, like love triangle with, there could be something spicy. And like, I can already get a sense of it just from a quick 3-second look. Yep. This one, it's really cool, but I don't have any idea what the plot is just from looking at here.
Right. Well, and that one is the trio there is very overt in that this is going to get sexy. Like you can tell, look at the slit on that dress, the low cut back on the blonde. That's going to get sexy. People love that. And the other one looks a little more cranial. So if you just want to have a fun little sexy romp with a trio or a love triangle, not necessarily a menage a trois, but a love triangle is not a menage a trois, just so you know.
It is not.
Whatever. But that's probably going to be your choice. If you want to probably get something that's a little more in depth, more character motivated, I would go with the other image of the woman.
Let's see.
Also, it could be like who's out more, who has better advertising and that kind of thing.
And of course, obviously, if you're paying money and if it's with one of the big 5 publishers, like that's obviously a huge factor. Of course,
they always put their stuff at the top. They pay for special placement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's see if we go down. I'm just curious some of the other ones. This one's kind of interesting. 27, not very much, but it doesn't really tell me what it is, but it's interesting to me.
That's very Princess Bride ripoff.
Which one?
Just above Sons of Fire. One more up. There you
Oh
go.
yeah, I could totally see that. Let's see what 340 reviews. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Interesting. I'm very, very curious now, actually, what I get. So, and this is what I always recommend for you guys, what we were saying earlier. If you're going to go do your research, start off with your main genre and then dig deeper into your subgenre. So like I'd started off with, I think it's under sci-fi and fantasy. I'm like, sure, it should be fantasy and sci-fi, by the way, but I won't, complain.
Whichever whichever genre is the strongest should be first, and then the next genre is supportive, so sci-fi, fantasy, or
Mhm.
fantasy sci-fi.
So if I was going to go into fantasy, and then I think it does let you go into the subgenres. And mine for Scarecrow, I want to say is either action adventure or dark. And I remember when I did this research last year, that's why I went with dark action adventure.
What
But then
about
I would
dystopian?
compare the different categories, right? So then
Yeah,
I would look in action adventure and see what I see,
this is where Publisher
which
Rocket
I,
can come
I
in.
already know it's a lot of character. What was that?
Publisher Rocket can come in very handy with this kind of thing. Now, what about dystopian?
Let's go dystopian. The reason I didn't do dystopian is because dystopian is some type of set society where
Oh,
everything has been subverted. And with Scarecrow, there's no society.
I don't know. I still think
It's
that could
more
be
a
a
world
third
of tribalism.
subcategory for you.
Huh?
I think that could be a third subcategory for you.
Which one?
Dystopian. I think it works, even though you're right about how you described it. I still think it could work. Do what markets best. Sometimes you don't have to be 100% accurate with your keywords because you just
Mhm.
want to get eyes on your book. You want, what are people searching for? Bring my book up. If someone likes dystopian, they might like this. Yeah. So yeah, keywords are another thing. Oof, we won't
Yeah,
even go
I'd asked myself that same thing when I was researching, and I think I went back and forth between dystopian and dark a number of times, and then ended
I
up
like dark.
falling on dark over dystopian simply because the lack of a society, of a central society in the book. But you know
Yeah.
what? I could be wrong, right? I could publish the book and have people be like, "No, this is dystopian. This is post-apocalyptic."
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Whatever people are searching for, right?
Well,
And then
you
I went with
have,
dark. And then I'm like, okay, well, what would I pair up against dark?
when you do your keywords when you
Mhm,
publish, you have 7
mhm.
slots for keywords, and
Yes.
you can do all. So, I
Mhm,
mean, definitely make sure you have dystopian in there.
mhm. Right, and then I'm looking at just like the different design ones that I feel like I would be competing against, right?
Sure.
And then this just gives me ideas. So what I did was I spent countless hours looking up different designs between all the different subgenres I thought it might be. And then
Mhm.
I went back and I formed my own design based on what I saw.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. It really is.
Mhm. And something to keep in mind is it's not just about the image. The image is part of it. The font. The
Oh,
font is important. The font placement, the
yes.
typography of the font, the color of the font, the size of the font. Every single thing matters. And remember, a book cover is not an image to have fun. A book cover is a marketing tool.
Yeah.
A book cover is a marketing tool.
Yep.
At the end of
Give
the
us the
day, it is a
mood.
marketing tool that is
Mhm.
designed to catch somebody's eye out of 1,000 other books. So that
Yeah.
way they are interested enough to check out the blurb.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
You wanna give them a vibe.
Exactly. Let's see what we got. Comments. Let's see. Rach said, 13th child caught my eye last trip through BNN. Let's pull up 13th child. Oh, that's interesting. That's a dark one. I didn't even go into horror, but there's actually very interesting horror
Oh, wow.
covers. I was like making sure. Oh, okay. So I have 13th child. This one's at 3 reviews. It's probably not that one. 1.2. My guess is it's probably this one. 13th, 2000. We got a
But
couple 13th
even with
child.
titles that are the same, you
Mhm.
still know you should be able to tell
This
what
one is
genre
interesting. I
those are,
love this. I
yeah. Mhm.
love this for a horror design. Like, this tells me I'm going to some type of like horror. You got the skulls. That actually does pull me.
Spooky
House of Souls and Sorrows. I
lighting.
like
Yep. I like that font too. I'm a font nerd. I love fonts.
that. I know, trying to find the right Aaron Craig shoot said. Yeah. So this is the Aaron Craig one. Yep, so that was the right one. Awesome. Let's see. What do I see? Awesome. By the way, welcome WTC. And I think it was saying I would be cautious about the dark genre. I was originally thinking mine would be dark, and even Autocrit said it was, but compared to others in that genre, mine was not dark. You know, it's interesting. Dark is the one thing that I'm challenged on consistently when I tell people. And I think my gut tells me it's because there's dark isn't very clearly defined. And there's
Yeah, what is
different
it? Is it a dark romance?
there's a lot of different subjective ideologies behind what is considered dark.
Yeah.
But that would just be a gut instinct. But it really comes down to, it's not even what I believe, it's what are people searching for that they think dark is. That's really all it comes down to. It's just search, it's SEO at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think it also kind of comes to a little bit of how hardcore are you going with the intensity of the genre. So like dark romance is usually not a fun ride. It's going to have some stuff you can't unread. Tread carefully, you know. So same thing with dark horror versus a comedy horror or a something like that. So you want to definitely, if you're going to use the word dark, it means you're going extra hardcore than the genre is normally.
And I think when I framed it, I think it was because there's some dark themes and there's some horror elements, but it's not. It's definitely not horror. Like it's definitively not horror. But I think it's enough to place in that category. But could always be challenged. TBD.
Yeah. I think Courtney makes a good point too about when your book is on the shelf, you want to make sure people can read that title because all they're going to see is this. They're going to see this little spine with a bunch of other spines. You want this to stand out.
And as much as you're hoping that your book cover will stand out, it'll be on the shelf, placed with the book cover front facing forward. You can't count on that.
No.
Until you go to the book, until you go to the bookstore yourself and fix it every single time.
Move stuff around. Yeah.
You're just moving it around so yours is the one that's the cover.
You know, I've heard of authors going through and they pull their book out and they, you know how they have the featured, let's say it's Stephen King is being featured. They just take their book and they just lay it on top of the book that's being featured. So
I actually saw someone do something really clever, which is really interesting. I don't know if you're allowed to do this or not. But I saw I think it was a TikToker. They walked into the bookstore and they're like, oh yeah, so it looks like 4 or 5 of my books have sold already. And there was 2 more left. And they're like, so like, this isn't like, you don't have to go buy the books or anything, but I want the next 2 people who buy these books to know that I really appreciate you. And then they picked up the books and signed them and then put them back.
Oh,
and they filmed the whole thing. So it's like whoever got the books next. I was like, I mean, it's their book, but technically it's the bookstore's property. So yeah. I don't know the logistics of that, but I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I love that idea. That's really cool.
But yeah, I mean, and also like we're looking at everything online. You should go to your local bookstore. Go to a local bookstore or go to Barnes & Noble and see what do the books look like on the shelf. Which ones stand out? Why are books placed the way they do? And that is another piece of research you can do for design.
Yeah. Usually the ones that are highlighted are because they are either a very well-known author already or they're being paid by the publisher to have them highlighted.
Yeah, I think the way that it was explained, I forgot where I picked this up on, but I think that the way with that like something like Barnes & Noble works is those tables that you walk in on, everything is paid placement. Paid placement for everything. Books that are on the top shelf tend to be at a higher paid placement than books on the bottom shelf. Books that are at certain tables are at a higher or at like a certain value, and books are everything's monetized in a sense. I think they do make spots for new authors and indie authors so that way they can still compete, but usually they're all put together. So it's just the way that it's framed, it's just different.
Barnes & Noble no longer accepts indie authors in their store.
They don't?
No, not in the physical store. They only accept the top, what is it, the top 5 now? So, but yeah, they know they will not put you in there unless you are represented by a top 5. But if you can't go in there and go, can I put my book in here? The answer is no. You can do it online. They'll put you all over online, just like Amazon, but you will not be in there. The shelf space is at a premium because people aren't really going to bookstores as much anymore.
That makes sense.
But your mom and pop shops, if you find a used bookstore or
Mhm.
a a
Yeah,
local
and that's why partnering
yeah.
with used bookstores is always a win for
Mhm.
new and indie authors because
Yes.
unlike a Barnes& and Noble, right, where they have a very large platform, your local bookstore wants to compete with Barnes& and Noble, and they want to advertise local authors who are going to write books who can make them more money.
Oh, yeah. Well,
And
they're
if
one
you
of
go
the
introduce yourselves, like go introduce yourself to the owner, the manager. They usually
Yes.
will they will usually do some type of events for whenever local authors publish their book. That's like a thing that local bookstores do.
Oh, yeah. There
Mhm.
and it's funny because even my local grocery store, it's a national chain, it's a Kroger chain, but it's called King Supers here. They
Mhm.
do meet the authors. There's a guy who runs a nationwide program, Meet the Authors, and you set up your little table, you have your books, and it has Meet the Author, big banner. And I met one of them. I walked up to her, I said, I've heard about this program. How does it work for you?
Mhm.
She's like, I have quit my job because I sell so many books doing this now. And I was
Wow.
like, "Oh, that is spectacular." She wrote YA fantasy, and she was just a lovely, lovely person. And I wouldn't be able to do it because they don't allow spice because it's a family,
Yeah, I
friendly
think when you go into categories that are a little harder to advertise, like spice, you have another obstacle, right? That's
Uh-huh.
not to say it's any less popular. It's probably more popular in honesty. I mean, we all know what the one of the more popular presentations were from the Right Now-a-thon. But from an advertising perspective, there's a greater
Yep.
obstacle.
Oh, and I just also wanted to say a word of caution to this was actually a trend a few years ago.
Mhm.
People were going into Barnes and Noble and bookstores like that and just leaving copies of their books in the shelves, just
Mhm.
like sneaking them in there.
Ooh, that's
Don't
not a
do
good
that.
thing.
Don't do that. They will throw them in the trash because if someone picks it up and tries to buy it, the
It's
barcode
not in the
didn't match
system.
anything,
Mhm.
and they'll just
Mhm.
toss it. And they will go back and make sure if there are any other copies of it, they will toss those too.
Yeah.
Just waste money. Don't do it.
Yeah, that is a bad thing. Do not do that. I agree. Awesome. So on that note, I feel like we've done some really, really good research into cover design. And once again, if you're just hopping in, welcome. We're doing a cover design workshop today. So we've done some conversations on understanding basic cover design principles, some basic design principles, and research on what are popular book cover designs. And we just went through Amazon for a couple of categories. I urge you, go do the research yourself for whatever subgenre you are planning on publishing in, whether you're designing the cover by yourself or you're hiring an artist. So that way, whatever vision is in your head, you can match it with some trends and things that you know can work. And then you can create a whole new design that works for your book. Awesome. And on that note, let's hop into the workshop. So let's go into the tutorial itself. And while we're setting that up, if you are enjoying the stream, follow and subscribe. We're here every day with the Right Now community. As you can see, we are always doing writing-based events to help you be a better writer, to help you with the process of writing the book, getting the book out there. And as we all know, if we don't have a good cover design, nobody picks up the book. So make sure to tap that follow or subscribe button and you'll be alerted when we go live. All right. And on that note, so Jayelle, when we think about this, the Canva design, this workshop, this step-by-step workshop, what are we going to be helping our viewers with?
Well, what I want to show you guys is a lot of people understand how to make thumbnails, but I will show you like what buttons to click 'cause maybe you don't know to do a thumbnail. And it's very simple. But what I really want to show you guys today is how you do your full cover. And you can do it on Canva. And that's the one thing that most people will outsource to because they don't know how to make the cover fit. Because I mean, think about it. You've got a binding, you've got all the pages in between. I mean, your whole layout. Now I do my layout on Atticus, but the cover design has to be separate and it has to fit how big your book is.
Mm-hmm.
So that takes measurements and it's like, well, how do I know? How do I know how big to make the cover? What dimensions should I use? Now,
Mm-hmm.
Amazon has a cover designer, but I hear it's like clunky AF. So I've never used
Yeah,
it. I have
Amazon's cover designer is definitely a little clunky.
yeah, so this will be
Mhm.
much easier actually if you want to try and do your own covers. And
Mhm.
I was very nervous when I first did it. I'm like, oh God, it's
Mhm.
going to come off wrong, but perfect fit. So I'm really excited to show how to do that at least, and we might have a cover reveal a little bit, sort of.
Ooh, yes,
For
yes, we.
you.
Mhm. I was like,
Not
all
your
right,
cover,
that's right.
but-
So I'm very excited to show. So we've done some work on our anthology. So
Yes.
for anybody who was involved, anybody who joined us earlier this summer in the Faded Fantasy competition, our top 12 semifinalists who made it to the competition were also selected to be a part of the Faded Fantasy anthology. What we did differently with this anthology, instead of publishing it immediately, we pushed it back later into the summer. I know the semifinalists are hard at work on revising their stories right now, so that way we can get the anthology. We'll probably be getting it out in September, my guess, at this rate. But we can't publish the anthology without a cover.
True.
So I asked Jayelle to help with putting together a Faded Fantasy anthology cover design. Now, we haven't finalized a specific one yet. We are playing around with a couple different styles, and we wanted to bring you along in the process to show you what does it look like on a step-by-step level in bringing together a a cover for this competition.
I've
So,
got this. I've
mhm.
got them pulled up whenever you're ready to share my screen.
Okay, perfect. I can throw yours up. All right, let's go here. All right. And then I see your screen and I don't see it pulled up on your end.
Nope. I'm seeing your screen.
Yeah, this is mine. So here we go. And then, oh, perfect. Beautiful. The color contrast is really growing on me for this one. So this was the first one. We've done a couple different we're doing a couple of different designs, and this was the first one where we wanted to go a little bit more basic, a little less things going on to really just bring the reader along for Faded Fantasy.
Yep. So we tried, and I tried to stay true to the color palette of your original marketing materials. I thought that was important, and it's a beautiful color scheme too. We want to have elements of magic. You like the double type of font here, the different kinds of font. We also have to have, of course, Mr. Crow. So, and then we want to tell you what the book is, a flash fiction anthology. So here was mock-up 1, and I will start to scroll down. I'll show you mock-up number 2. In your original, you also asked me to consider the design of your last flash fiction book on how there was some boxing and it had like a border. So I played around with that here.
Yeah, so everybody who obviously was a part of Freaky Friday last year, this was the final cover for Freaky Friday. I was like, okay, let's do something similar, but for Faded Fantasy with Mr. Crow.
Yeah. And I was just playing around with some crow images. I thought fairies are, basic fantastical critters. So, we just started playing with some images, color schemes. I did use some AI prompts on this because the Canva just released an AI image generator, which is pretty cool, actually. So here's another one. I just played around with some crow images just to see what kind of images we like. I know you've got your own crow image, but let's just play around with it for the sake of it. And I've got some extra little sparkly things going on in the background, changing the banner type here. And then I think is the next one, I think my favorite one.
Courtney asked, did any of the stories have fairies though? And I was
That's
like,
true. Yeah, no, they didn't.
We did, and that was the one thing I'm like, I don't think any of the stories, there might have been one. There might have been one of the stories with the fairy.
I don't think so.
But I don't think there was.
Elves. I think we had elves maybe. I don't know.
Elves.
No, I don't think so, actually. I don't think any, no. But the thing is I wasn't trying, and I knew that because obviously I read all the stories, but the image is iconic of fantasy. But if I picked one image from one story, I feel like maybe that wouldn't be fair to the other stories. So having, but totally good point, because people look at the cover and they go, ooh, is this what's inside? And that's what's tricky about an anthology, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly, right? So there's definitely a couple of different strategies we've tried to look into it,
yeah,
for like, okay, well, what feels right for an anthology?
yeah. And I think having a vibe that invites you onto adventure.
Mhm,
Um, this one is our favorite. At least it's no, not that one. Sorry, this one is our favorite right here. I love this one. It's
mhm.
bringing you into an adventure. We've got little sparkly things. They could be fireflies. Well, they were fireflies. They are, but they could be
I
anything
love
kind of
this one so
magical.
much.
Going through that tunnel, being invited in the journey, and then Kauffman did this really cool chest here that has. Let me see if I can scroll, zoom, extreme close up. If you will notice, there are elements from some of the stories in this chest.
Mhm.
We have a bell. We have an Egyptian statue. We've got a little heart shape here. A spell book. There's the plant. There's a kitty. So like things, elements that have been in those stories are in here, and I just added some sparkle to give it a little pizzazz. So,
Mhm.
but I went through. This one has a lot of elements in it. There's a ton of elements in
Yeah,
this.
so this one was probably we did the heaviest amount of design editing, of
Yeah.
layering and editing and fixing to get some of those elements to work.
Yep. And I did color changing because originally this big tunnel was like blue,
Mhm,
like cobalt blue. And so I
mhm,
had to do some color tweaking on it to get it more natural looking.
mhm,
But it is such a good image. And Kaufman liked it immediately. He's like,
mhm.
this is cool. Put that one in there. I'm like, the blue though. So we fixed it.
And I think right now this is one of the closer ones, but once again, none of these images are finalized. We're
Right.
still in the development design process,
Mhm.
but we wanted to take you all along in the journey.
Yeah.
And what does this look like?
Yep. And I think I threw in some other images just to see, like,
That's
do we like
kind of
this
interesting.
better,
Mhm,
or maybe that one better? I just kind of found some stock photo basically
mhm.
and threw it in
Just to
there.
see like
And
what it would look like. Obviously, like blending would have to be a thing. That one was interesting. I think this was an interesting, like different style. What do you think about this one?
I think it's a little distracting,
Mhm,
but I was trying to think of how could I show elements from the stories.
mhm,
Um, and there's so many different things with the dragon, the bell. There's a werewolf. We've
mhm,
got, of course, the Egyptian cat.
mhm,
There's the prince because our winner, I believe, was about royalty, so we wanted to have that
mhm,
represented. The plant, and then you have some. We had a couple Asian themed stories, and so I wanted to kind of represent as best I could. Some of them were a little too high concept to find a graphic for,
mhm,
without doing the whole cover about it, like the gal
mhm.
who's the fire element. Like, if I could do a cover on that story, ooh, I would have so much fun. But having it as a little graphic is tricky. So I tried to just kind of pick ones that were easy in silhouette. Um, and then these are just things that I like. I thought it was pretty, so I just saved them.
Mhm,
So, but I really love the idea of going on a journey. So something with a
mhm,
path through a mysterious looking forest, I think is spot on, and that's why I really love this design.
mhm.
Excuse me.
Yeah, so I think we've definitely done some really, really cool things with this. Um, and once again, while we haven't finalized anything, I think it's almost like you're taking it step by step through the process of like, okay, so you have the core images. How are you able to adjust the images with the tools in Canva? And then how do you get to a more finalized concept? So, JL, I'd love to see, maybe we can take them through. So like what would like a step by step process look like from like if we were to start this over for any of
So
our for anyone who's not familiar with Canva.
sure. So where you want to start, here you will see in Canva, there are all these little icons, and these are templates for you to have the perfectly sized item for whatever media you are using. And you'll see here book cover for now. This probably will rearrange for you and personalize whatever you use the most will be on the left side.
Mhm,
Obviously, I do book covers quite often. So if you click book cover, it just pops in with a nice little template. It will be blank. If you want to, they have templates, but I don't like using templates because it's hard to manipulate each element if I want to customize it. And especially for a book cover, you don't want to use somebody else's pictures. You want to do your own. So you just kind of have this guy here. This will be the perfect size for an ebook cover. And so if I say, okay, I'm going to go to elements here. This is where I'm going to start. And I'll go, okay, what do I want to make this? What is this book about? Is it about a kitten? Is it about, let's make it about a kitten. Now, do I want a cartoon kitten or do I want photorealistic kitten? Let's see. Then you just search kitten. Oh my god, so cute.
Aw.
This one has an attitude. Let's click on him. Look at you,
Aw.
little. He's gonna be a space cat. All right, so then we want to do some background.
Are we giving him an astronaut helmet?
Oh hell yeah! Well, we can let's see if we have astronaut helmet. Look at that right here. Bam. Now you have to find something that can layer. So obviously, like if I pick this, it's just gonna go bonk, and it's gonna maybe not necessarily what we want. Maybe something that so you have to find images that actually are
Mhm,
maybe a little transparent. So the best thing could be a
mhm,
graphic instead of an actual fake picture.
mhm,
So let's go into graphics instead of photos. You just scroll up over here. We go back into Elements. Elements has all your kinds of graphics. So let's just
mhm,
do um astronaut helmet. Yay, I don't have to spell it. That makes me super happy. So and
mhm,
then here it'll have graphics, photos, videos. So whatever you're doing, it kind of brings up it's just
mhm,
so user friendly. Let's look at graphics, see all.
mhm.
All
Yeah,
right.
and you could tell this is where it would.
Yep. Let's say we want to here's our little Astro Kitty. Now, if we don't like the coloring on this, we can always change it. We can also change transparency of items so they disappear. This is going to come in incredibly important when I show you how to make a full cover. You're going to need to
Mhm,
know how to do transparency. So this is just, we're not even going to worry about how good this looks. We're just going to have some fun. So now let's do some backgrounds. Let's do a space background.
mhm.
Oops, I didn't type the whole word because I'm
Space
awesome.
back.
There we
Space back.
Space back, yeah. All right. Woo! That's
Ooh, that's
fun.
colorful. That's very colorful.
Yeah. Now again, this is not meant to look like we're just showing you how things work. So now let's see. We need to get this. Actually, I really hate that. The colors
Mhm.
are way too strong. Let's do something a little less.
Something that's not so interface.
Yeah, exactly. So here's what I'm going to
Mhm,
put in Galaxy. Am I in graphics? I'm still in graphics. Let's go to photos. There we go. Oh, much better. Way better. This is kind of how I did my cover
mhm,
um for the seed bearer. Okay, let's take this is kind of cool. I like this. All right, so we're gonna take this, we're gonna rotate it
mhm.
90 degrees.
There we
There we
go.
go.
Much better because it doesn't really matter what direction it is.
Nope. Now I'm gonna take this.
Ooh, I like
Actually,
that.
I'm gonna
That is
flip this the other way. I want the bright part on the top because it's gonna draw your
mhm,
eye, and this is where my title's gonna be. So I
mhm,
need that to pop more. Now we're
mhm.
gonna take it and we're gonna go just a little bit lighter so it's not so saturated. And we're gonna send it to back. Right click on your image, brings up a menu, go to layer, send to back. Boom. Now I have a space cat in space. If you
Ooh.
want, yep, you want title, you go text box, add text box. Let's make it huge.
Can we make the coloring of the image? Can we contrast it or make it more vibrant?
Yes.
Excellent. I
Space
want
cat.
I want those that blue and the gold in the background to really pop.
Yep. Okay, we'll work on that in a second. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take those colors that we like. We're going to bring them out over here and put them where we want them. And then you just fill it in. You kind of have to tweak it a little bit. You'll get there though.
Mm-hmm.
And then also we can move him around too. We can get him a little bit more out of the way. But let's get this a little more saturated, like you said, color-wise. Okay. That's in our transparency. Let's click our background image because I think I muted it a little. Now, if we really want it 100%, there's 100%. And then our title is going to need a background.
Mm-hmm.
So you can put, you know what I like using for, because I'm a sparkly lass. I love my sparkles.
Mm-hmm.
So I might do let me see. No, not that. Let's just do real quick. Another thing is a white blur. Ooh, let's do gold blur. Gold, because that's our colors here. Gold blur. All right, we should come up with, ooh, and we want some graphics. There we go. That's better.
Yay.
This is what I want. And you can take, and we'll just use this as an example. You can take stuff like this and it highlights, see? Now I can see the title. Obviously, I would never leave a cover looking like this, but it's just, I'm just showing you things you can do. So that if you like, I really want that black font. Well, okay, so then this needs to, whoops. This has to move over. Scoot. There we go. Then we can take this. Oops. Didn't I send you to the back? Why are you being a butt? Come here later. Send it back. It's already in the back. Okay, cool. So we want to grab this. Stop doing that. Okay, when you run into this trouble, you go right mouse click, layer, show layers, and it gives you all your layers over here. So I really want to touch this. So let's bring that. Here we go. And I'm going to make it big so I can see everything, but I want it to go back a layer because it's right in front of my helmet. So instead of making, like, finding what layer it's on, I just go to my Space Cat and I say, bring to front. Boop.
Hey.
Now, Space Cat in space. There you go. Now, how would we turn this into a full cover? There is a way. Should we do Space Cat? Let's see. Or do you want me to do one of the Faded Fantasy covers?
We could do either.
Okay.
I'm open to either.
Let's do a Faded Fantasy one just because I really hate this image. So all right, so we'll just do with our first one here because it's much easier. Now, where to begin? Where to begin? What do we do? How do you know how big stuff is? Well, if you have formatted your book and you are ready, let me get rid of this and make my life simple. There we go. Okay, so everybody write this down, or Kauffman, if you want to put this in the chat, this will save your ass. Okay, so KDP, see what you can do is type in your search KDP cover calculator. Hit enter, and it brings you here, KDP cover. So it's kdp.amazon.com with a little, and I've tried just typing this in, so /cover-calculator. This is your link.
I just dropped it in the chat.
Perfect. Now here it is. This is going to tell you how big to make your graphic for a full title or a full cover. Binding type, yeah, just go through this. Don't even worry about paperback. That does count because it's going to be a different spine width, right? Interior type, this is just, let's get to the standard is fun, or black. Actually, just do black and white. It doesn't really matter. Paper type, cream. I always do cream. Reading direction, left to right. That's how we read in America, usually most other places. Measurement units, we want inches, not millimeters, inches. Trim size. This is how big do you want your book to be? Now, I use for my books the 5 by 5 by 8 by 5. That gets you this size. That's what but you can have, there's all different kinds. If you do your formatting in Atticus, you'll notice some of the, like, to pick your trim size there has to match what you put here. 5 by 5 by 8 by 5. Page count. Now, this is another thing. How many pages is in your book? So you cannot do a full cover unless you know how big the book is. That means your editing is finished. Your all of your formatting is done. You've got your chapters where you want them. You have all your headlines, all your, maybe your chapter graphics or chapter art. All of the pages, your front of content. So that's like your dedication, your copyright, your title page.
Well, I mean, if so, and look, just as a clarification, so I feel like a really good time for an author to start focusing on the cover design is once they've given it to their editor, because that's going to be a period of 1-2 months, however long it takes for them to be thinking about the marketing side of it. What's going to happen after they've gone through edits, after it's been revised, and after they have a final draft. Now, obviously, you have to finalize this once the book is done because you need that page count. But I think you can start designing the cover during that part of the process.
Okay, yeah. Well, I actually love doing. I a little bit of both. It kind of depends on your process. Because I can design covers and I love doing it. I often
Mhm.
have the cover designed before the book is even finished first draft.
And
'Cause
that's
I
what I've done
wanna
with Scarecrow, right? Like I'm in the second draft and the cover's almost done.
Yeah. And because it's just a thumbnail and you can always change it. And I've had moments where the cover helped inform my story. So, for example, I couldn't obviously find a blue alien model. I had to use AI. Originally, they were green. I tried green aliens. I couldn't find the graphic I liked. So I actually changed the skin tone to match the cover graphic that I liked the best. Same thing with my
Interesting.
female. Her hair used to go all the way down to her ankles. Well, I couldn't find a graphic with that, with this blue hair, with the blue skinned alien. So I had to, I just had to change it. And it's not a big deal. So her hair goes to her butt instead of her knees. I mean, that's fine. I don't care. But that kind of thing, you want it to be consistent. And it depends on people who aren't using Canva and are using far more advanced cover designs can do anything you want. Canva, you get the discount version a little bit. So you got to work with what you get sometimes. So let's say our page numbers here is, let's just say it's 150. It's going to be a very thin book. But let's say 150 just for fun. And then you hit calculate dimensions. Ba-bam. Here is your book. What you're seeing here is, of course, your trim. Right here, your bleed area. Never let anything touch those, especially font. Amazon will reject you. So,
Yeah.
how do you calculate?
Yes, I learned that the hard way.
Full cover right here is your, if you see width right there, height. That's all you need. It is in inches. So now we're going to go to Canva. We're actually going to go back home. Boop. And we need to find custom size. Create new. See? Custom. Width is 11.625. 11.625. Height. We're going to make this inches. See, it says pixels. Inches. Height. 8.75. 8.75.
And I think it changed your width when you changed it inches.
Oh, yeah. Let me change that again. Sorry. Thank you. I was just like, why is it red? Oh, I screwed that up. That's why. 11.625. 11.625. But did you see how it automatically transferred it over to, it converted what I had put for pixels into inches? So some people might go, I don't know, give me an image that has no more than 1,200 pixels in it or 12,000 pixels or whatever. And you're like, how do I know how big that is? That actually just showed us how to do it. All right. So here are our dimensions. And we just go create new design. And it's going to give us a blank rectangle. Oh, God, anything but that. Now we go back here. Download template. See this beautiful little button right here? Ooh, there's my download. Oh, no, not Express Zip. Oh, I hate this. Okay, hold on. I have to go tell this thing to go stuff itself now. Yes. Go away. All right, so we're going to bring up paperback. Right mouse click. I go to my 7-zip because I love it. Extract files here. And it's going to come up with an image for me. Hello. 7-zip. Extract files here. There we go. Yes to all. I don't care. Do it. Where'd it go? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh.
It's going to give you issues. It's only because you're trying to do it live.
Yeah, probably. Okay, I don't know where the files went. I said extract files, and I'll tell you what. There's an easier way to do this.
Okay.
We're just going to go back to this. Download fresh, because I think I hit the wrong thing. All right. Extract here. Destination folder. Where is it? I'm in downloads. Okay, now I can't find my file. It's okay. What do you call these? Tech gremlins? Is that what this is?
Yep.
Oh my God, I've never
happens
had
to the
this
best
happen.
of us.
I've never had this happen before. I'll tell you what, I have a better idea. Let's just stick it in my file. All right. We're going to stick it in covers. These are all my covers. There it is. Come on, you work for me. Extract here. Yes!
There we go. We got it.
Maroon.
Woo!
Oh, that was rough. Why so rough? Okay, so we're going to take... Now we're going to go back to Canva, our untitled design, and we're going to take this, and we're going to say... Down, uploads. Upload button. Little cloud right here. Upload files. Oh, that's me as a baby.
Aww.
Yeah, my dad just sent me those. Isn't that cute? All right, so upload files. We're going to go back to our... Where did I put it? I put it in my covers, which is under writings. And covers. Is it under writings or is it just under Jennifer? Oh, there it is. Go. Yep. Drag and drop. Boom. All right. Then you drag and drop. Okay, we can get rid of our calculator. Now, if you put... Now, you're like, oh, but it doesn't fit. Don't panic. It's okay. All right. You just got to put it up in the corner and you just make it big because this is downloading as an image. It doesn't know how big my graphic is. It's an image. Make the image. It will fit perfectly. See? Ta-da.
Woo! Perfect.
Now, let's title it. We'll call it FF Trial Full Cover. Just for fun.
Nice.
All right. And now we're going to go to design. Actually, you're going to go back home.
Okay.
Let's see. Well, I've got the front covers right here. See, it's got a quick menu. So we're going to go ding. And now, this is where it gets a little tricky, and another tendency to panic will usually set in now. So, you're going to highlight the whole thing. Look at all those fun little shapes.
Oh, so many elements.
Yeah. Control copy. Back to full trial cover where we're working. Click it. Control V. Ta-da. Now, these are all in a group. And you're like, oh no, where did the background go? Well, you have...
We've lost it.
The background is its own set of images. So, and if we want to move these as a group, you make sure you tell it to group it. So we can take this and move it wherever we want. But what we want to do now, this is where all the fine tuning comes in. So let me get this guy back up here. All the fine tune, and we're not going to fiddle fart with this too much, but I just am showing you how to get it going. The background, usually what I do is I just go back and I go, okay, now what did I use back in that background again? Let me show you. And I go to my, whoops, remember if you click on it, you can get your layers by hitting the 3 magic dots, layer, show layers. There we go. Here's our layers. What the heck did I use for that background? Well, it should be here, right? Oh, it's a composite background. Why, yes, it is. And this did not transfer. So I usually go back and forth. Anyway, we won't fiddle with this too much, but we'll just do our best for now because it does take several hours to get through the whole thing. So we'll just go here and here and there's... Now this is nice because if I want this to go over the front and back, I can. If I so choose. Or if I want this size, I can actually just do a second graphic. But we're just going to take this. No, it doesn't look pretty. That's okay. We're just doing an example. Now, your graphics can intervene with these bleed lines. Totally fine. But your fonts absolutely cannot. So if I want to take our fantasy fonts, let me send this to the back real quick. Layer to the back. Now, oh my God, it disappeared. What do I do? Don't panic because here's our transparency. No. Now, remember that I said you're going to want to learn how to change your transparency because you need this to go away. There we go. When you upload your file to Amazon,
There
you
we
do
go.
not want this here. They will print that. So you need to make it go bye-bye. This is for your reference only. All right. Now,
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
So let's say we want to put a spine title on the spine, duplicate, bring it over here, duplicate, bring it over here. And we're going to 90-degree rotate. We'll start with the first word. 90-degree rotate. Over here. Oh, that's way too big. Yep. So
God, I remember having so many issues with the spine. Like we had to get it so small. But with the anthologies, I mean, they're what, less than 100 pages. So like there's
very tiny.
yeah, we're like fitting barely anything on those spines.
Yeah, because you cannot have any of this touching any pink.
Mhm.
They will hang you by your toes.
Yep.
It's a very tiny. That's another reason why font choice is so important, because
Mhm.
you might find a font that works so cool on the front, but it
Mhm.
looks like ass on the side.
Mhm.
So let's take this guy. We'll just do that real quick, and I'll do one last thing, and we can probably call it a day if you like.
Mhm.
So we don't want to make
Yeah.
it too long.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I really like this. I think this is an interesting process, especially for a lot of authors who might not know how to do the cover design itself, which we would then be uploading to Amazon when it was finalized.
Yeah, and remember, kids, Control Z is your friend. Never panic. Always Control Z.
Mhm.
All
And
right.
then when you upload it to Amazon, you will be uploading it like that entire image, front, spine, back.
Yes,
Mhm.
and but you will have, of course, remembering to get rid of this, so it doesn't print that, because you want to put. What do we want to put here? Our blurb.
Mhm.
Right here, that has room for a barcode, so you know not to go put anything there, because the barcode, Amazon gives you
Mhm.
free barcodes. Please don't buy their
Mhm.
ISBNs or their AISBNs. They will already
Mhm.
automatically give you a free barcode and assign an ASIN for
Mhm.
your ebooks. You don't need a barcode, but you do need your own ISBNs. Otherwise, the property is technically not your
Yep.
property; it's
Yep.
Amazon's. So
Yep.
Amazon owns all.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and I'll show you some of my covers that I've done that are full real quick, so you can kind of see a finished product.
Ooh, excellent.
Let me get back to, I just want home. Come here, home. Okay, let's see. So here is the seed bearer. Let's try another one. I've been showing that one. This is the summer with Persephone. Oops, I just hit. Oh, Calvin. Oh, so I got Calvin's here too. I was playing with some ideas for him when he was trying to brainstorm what he liked.
Mhm.
Here is the summer with Persephone. Let's
Ooh.
zoom in a little bit. Now, you may not believe it, but under here is the guide.
There we
See?
go. There we go. There's the guide.
Yep. Then let's see. Let's go back home. We'll go ahead and let's see. We'll go ahead and do the seed bearer. Why not? Just as another. Now here's some darker colors. You can see I had to kind of change the font a little bit here. That's all the same, but then I have to take this image and I flipped it and rotated it to make it fit on the back and look a little bit cool. So I have a dark strip actually going across the whole thing if you open it up, which is another design element some people
And I
don't think
love that.
about.
I love that design, by the way.
Thank you.
That design, the design is so intriguing. And I think because the gold in the background contrasts very, very interestingly against the two main characters.
Yeah. I've
Mhm.
never done anything with yellow. I have a lot of pink in my covers for some odd reason. Anyway, but
Mhm.
there's your thing. So that's it. And then does anybody have questions or want me to go over something again real quick?
Hmm. Yes. So if anybody has any questions, what I think it's interesting with Canva because there's so many different things that you can do with it.
Uh-huh.
And this was just like a very, very basic, straightforward tutorial on, all right, what are the different elements that you can do? I didn't even know that with the cover design or with the cover format thing. I think what I did was I'm pretty sure I made mine in Photoshop and then I messed around with the KDP cover tool on their website.
Yeah.
Getting the thing like this was probably 10 times smarter.
So easy to do. And
Yeah,
if you
so that
have
was
your
really,
own
really interesting.
if you've done your own
Mhm.
graphics somewhere else, you can bring that in and put it on your cover.
Mhm.
One
Mhm.
thing I like about doing it here is I have control of every single element,
Oh.
every layered element. So yeah, that's what I like about it.
And Courtney, for this exact reason, Courtney's like, why copy and paste the cover rather than saving the image and putting it on the space for the cover?
Yeah, it's just easier to do it all from scratch. So here's my all of my graphics and videos that I've
Mhm.
done. I got stuff that I've kind of fiddle farted with, and I haven't. You know, you can keep just ideas here too, which is really nice.
Mhm.
But yeah, so
Courtney,
like,
I think it's more for like sizing requirements. When
yeah,
you upload to that cover to Amazon, what was that? This page that we had showed you guys earlier.
yeah. Did I miss a
Well,
question? I feel like I missed a question. I got interrupted.
no, you're good. Because Courtney was asking why copy and paste the cover rather than saving the image and putting it
Oh,
on the space for the cover. And what was that? So as you can see here, what we were looking at earlier with the measurements with Amazon's KDP, if Amazon is very, very specific about their cover design, and basically once you submit it, it's not finalized immediately. It goes through a review process, which I think they say that the review can take anywhere between 1 day up to, I think it's like 1 to 7 days or something like that. But if anything that you've submitted once it starts the review is outside of any of these lines or these borders, or if it's even close because they have color, they show you the coloring, they will deny it. And then you have to resubmit it and wait another
yeah.
1 to 7 days for it
Well,
to
and
review.
your colors can bleed. You want your colors to bleed, but the text, the font, you don't want that to touch anything in that border. Yeah.
Mhm. And Courtney said, no, Canva to Canva.
Oh, to copy and paste the image? Because I always do my thumbnails first, if I'm understanding your question correctly. If I'm not, let me know. But I think because I like to do the ebook image first and then put it over, if that makes sense, and then put it to the full cover. That's why I'm doing the copy and pasting instead of redesigning
Mhm.
the whole thing. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I don't have that kind of
Mhm.
time. So that's why I copy over.
That makes sense. JL, what would you say has been one of like the hardest or one of the greatest or bigger obstacles for you in terms of like designing a covers for yourself?
Well, to pick the correct subject matter is always a little daunting. Because sometimes you have an idea, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, and it comes off
Mhm.
with the wrong mood or the wrong message.
Mhm.
Like a lot
Mhm.
of my co-authors or authors that are friends of mine that write smut like I do, they like
Mhm.
the big bare-chested guys, and I'm like, I don't want to send that message, you know. But I tried, and then I do have one. If you guys want to see it, it's my next book's cover, and it does have a bare-chested hottie on it.
Okay. All
But
right.
but it's hard to kind of pick what are you going to focus on.
Mhm.
Like with Breaking Fancy, and I know you had this with with the Scarecrow. You don't want to show his face.
Mhm.
And I didn't want to show Lexi's face. My main character, Lexi, has been in my head, for a year while I was writing the books, the trilogy.
Mhm.
And then when I was looking for blondes to put on the cover, and I'm like, if I put a blonde on the cover, that's going to be Lexi. It's going to frame her in someone's mind.
Mhm.
I don't want to do that. So I opted to go for a
Yes.
graphic
Yeah.
of
And
Los
that
Angeles.
for context, so my cover design for the last Scarecrow is nearly finished. I've shown it to a couple people because I'm trying to get feedback on it before I launch it officially. But one of the things I knew in my mind when working with my cover design artist was that I wanted a silhouette of Scarecrow, but I don't want Scarecrow, who's the main protagonist. I don't want their face on the cover.
Yeah,
I describe what Scarecrow looks like in the first chapter, in the first page. But I want to give enough details while letting the reader envision what they think Scarecrow looks like. I'm
yeah,
fine with the other characters, with the Pixie, the Crow, the other supporting, but I think Scarecrow, for me, it's important that because there's a couple different ways that we can think of like, oh, what does a Scarecrow look like?
yeah,
Um, and I want the reader to be able to use their imagination because for me, then it feels like the reader is a part of the journey of the main character from the very first page.
definitely. Yeah,
Mhm.
you want to give them a description so they have something to go on, but you don't necessarily have to describe every single dimension of their face. And I think if you're doing like the smut covers with the the say the shirtless guy, you know what you're in for.
Mhm.
He's gonna have to at least have the same color hair and eyes. After that, it's all muscles, nobody cares.
Mhm.
Like, but if you're
Mhm.
talking about a really unique character like Scarecrow, you kind of want to
Mhm.
let people have it themselves, unless you're like, he looks like this, and you need to know he looks like
Mhm.
this, and you will put it up there for them.
Mhm.
But if you want to let them be part of imagining him, I think that's really cool. I like that.
And for my subgenre of, we'll just go with action adventure style and fantasy, 8 times out of 10, it's generally a character scene for that specific subgenre. It's generally an action shot from some type of scene from the book. It's generally a character in some type of pose for that subgenre. That tends to be what is the preferred style for that
Oh,
specific
cool.
subgenre. It's
Well,
not the case for all subgenres, but for action adventure, it tends to be.
yeah. Yeah, very cool. And again, smart to look at your genres and what is popular on those covers on Amazon.
hmm
Very, very, very crucial.
hmm
And
And then
then you don't
Aphrodite,
get it right, but you if you get close, woohoo.
and then Aphrodite here asked a good question. They're like, just got here. Did you say where you get your images?
All my images come from Canva.
hmm
I use their stock. Do you want to share my screen? I'll show you.
Yeah, sure. I'll pull yours back up. Let's go. There you go.
Okay, so on the left is a whole menu of stuff. You can
Mhm.
go to they have three images you can use: videos, you can use photos, so photorealistic looking. Magic Media is the AI generator, and it also has customizable styles. You can go from cartoon to photorealistic, different kinds of lighting, that kind of stuff. Then there also, if you go into elements and you just type in something like let's just say a crown. King Crown. King Crown is good. King Crown. Now it'll say graphics, photos, all different kinds of. It'll bring you up where to go. And so if I want a graphic of a crown, I get it all here. Now, if you'll notice on Canva, it has little crowns on some of the graphics. That's your pro image only. Those
Mhm.
cost Canva extra. So
Yep.
that's
So
why
you
you
can
have
use
to use
you can use
pro.
the basic version of Canva for $0 a month. You
Yes.
can, if you pay their premium price, which is 15 a month, but like that's not breaking the bank. That's basically like one like fast food meal in this day and age now. Like, come
It
on.
is. I mean, or a coffee now sometimes too, because some of
I
that
know,
coffee is
right? You get like
expensive.
a single like cup of Starbucks, like a Trenta, Venti. You're almost at $15 now with all the add-ons and the customizations. It's crazy.
Yeah, totally. So, did you want me to show you some unseen covers?
Ooh, yes, 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 yes. So everyone, so thank you so much for sticking around with us. Something that I thought would be really cool. JL has some covers that you haven't yet revealed to the public yet
Yeah.
for some of your upcoming titles.
Yes. And I wanted to also show you an example of an anthology
Mhm.
that I was a part of. Right here is what we settled on. So here's
But by the way, Sean, welcome. You're like, how flow the vibes from the other realms? Are they sufficiently inspiring? Absolutely.
so far. Yeah. Love it. Okay.
Words are wind, but stories are forever. I'm Kauffman, and I'll.
Okay, here we go. So this is a Pantheon series. I have not
Mhm.
written 3 of these books. I've only written this one. I have
Mhm.
concept and outline for the next ones, but I did the series together because I love designing covers and it's so much fun. And when I have
Mhm.
someone that I'm designing for, I always do it on video call. We do not
Mhm.
do the text back and forth. Can you make the pink a little less pink? What? It's so much easier to do it on a video. So that's how I do it. But I
Mhm.
wanted them all
To
to have
do,
kind
yeah,
of.
to do like a live design. I
Yes,
get
it's
that.
so much easier. So I wanted them all to have the same vibe. I picked silhouettes. I picked some nice scrolly fonts. I have thematic things that are the same on each one. So you're going to have the
Mhm.
tagline and a ribbon on the bottom. They're Greek myths, so you have to have just a little bit of something that makes it look maybe a
Mhm.
Grecian. I guess so I got the pillars here. Then I have here's again got my JLD. All the fonts are the same. If in my at least for my name, for the actual book titles, I just went with what worked the best for the book. And then I think this one is the last one I have. But I wanted them to kind of look like they lived in the same house, you know? They all have the same kind
Mhm.
of general theme. So those are those. And
And it's
I want to
interesting because of the Greek elements that you're using for these stories.
Yeah, exactly. You can
Mhm.
see it in the type of spiral here and the fans. And
Mhm.
I actually, when I looked for stuff for this, I actually just asked it Greek designs, you know, and it came up
Mhm.
with a lot of stuff that I used. So it was pretty cool.
Mhm.
I want to do a cover reveal. I have not shown anyone. If it will let me go home, that would be amazing. You know, actually, I can just do this. Hey, there it is. Okay. Um, it's Otherworldly Creatures. My second book in this is going to be coming out. I was hoping
Ooh.
for this fall. I really
Mhm.
wanted this to come out for Halloween. This one is the one that's been released last year. It's
Mhm.
Alien. Each one of these is a different supernatural love interest
Ooh.
with
Something's
different.
happening with his abs.
Oh yeah, so many things. And then this one, this is the one that's coming up. It's the wolf
Mhm.
book. So, yeah, I love this cover. I get obsessive about my covers. I actually will have them open to look at them when I'm writing the story,
Uh-huh.
especially if I feel like it helps
Mhm.
enhance my character descriptions and stuff. So
Mhm.
anyway, yeah. So that one's coming up. I don't have any others because I haven't figured out what next otherworldly creature I want to do. But them's the covers. But yeah, if you're writing a series, make sure your covers look thematically similar.
Mhm.
So like for my first one, I think this was the one I landed on.
Mhm.
And it's all kind of, it looks like they live in the same house, right? They look like they belong
Mhm.
together. These are the ebook covers, make them a little spicier. So, but you want to have that. So think about it, they're all on a shelf in someone's home,
Mhm.
they look like a set. So anyway, this
Mhm.
was another concept I was doing, but I decided against it. Anyway, that's all I have for you.
Ah, so cool. So cool. Jayelle, thank you so much for showing that. I'm excited to read your books, and I don't even read in that genre.
I I've had people that never read that kind of genre have read the
Mhm.
books and they're like, I really like this because it's about the story. I mean, I don't write a
Mhm.
giant sex scene for 300 pages. The
Mhm.
sex is this much of the story. Teeny
Mhm.
bitty bit, but it's graphic. It's there. It's in your face,
Mhm.
but it's a little tiny part of the story.
That's so awesome. I'm so happy that we were able to go through a full step-by-step tutorial with Canva. I feel like I learned a lot, and I don't even use Canva that much these days. For those of you who've joined us and you've hopped throughout, whether you're here on the live stream or you're watching on the replay, thank you so much for joining us today. If you have more questions about cover design philosophies, principles, ideas, mindsets, strategies, or you just want to say hi, drop a comment, let us know. We would love to answer any questions that you have. We'll make sure to check the comments after the live stream goes, but we definitely really much appreciate you.
Well, and if you have another preferred graphics program, like you like Photoshop, working in there a little bit more, you can probably still use the same template. You just have to create that same size image in whatever graphic program you enjoy using.
Mm-hmm.
So the template I think is the biggest problem solver, honestly. If you want to do your own covers, please don't use the Amazon one. It's a real mess.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, and I think there's so many different ways to go about cover design. Like I myself end up using Photoshop, but that's just because that's what I'm used to over
Yeah.
years and years of practice. But I generally recommend to most people, like, don't start with Photoshop. Photoshop's very complicated. Don't start with Photoshop unless you want to spend a lot of time to learn it. And then it's a much higher monthly fee. But I think Canva is literally like the perfect
It's
entry
easy.
level for most people. And
Oh, wow. Yeah. My only complaint with it is
it's
the
really cute,
layering.
right? And
Yeah,
I
it's
think that's what I really
adorable.
appreciate about it.
My only
Was the layering a little
complaint,
annoying sometimes?
the layering is a little clunky. I prefer, like in Photoshop, you've got your layering key and you can just click to the layers are already right there for you. Like I had to
Mhm.
tell it, go to layers. Now give me all the layers to get that. And then it disappears. And it's like, I want that out. If they did that key, I would be like, I'll never use another graphics program. This is perfect. But yeah, that's my one complaint.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining today. It's been absolutely incredible. Once again, I'll be back tomorrow with another daily writing sprint stream. Tomorrow, August Writing Challenge, as we're joined with other author tubers in the community, trying to hit that goal of 18,000, 48, or 80,000 words for the month. I'll continue working on Scarecrow. And Jayelle, if people want to go find out like more about you, what are you doing over in your community? What are you working on?
Oh yeah. I run a Discord called Writers Inc. where I coach amateur to professional level writers. And usually in the pro level, we're actually just helping co-critique our stories and giving advice about how to publishing woes. We usually kind of sit around and bitch a lot about the publishing industry and the book industry. But my wonderful amateurs, we're all working on each other's stories. I've got one who has published their book this year, which I'm so proud of. It was Calvin. I love him. I've been working with him for a couple of years. And I've got another one who is probably going to be publishing next year. I'm so excited, but I help you like from soup to nuts. Like we do the whole teach you writing skills, help you with grammar, help you with all that kind of stuff. And I'm there, all the time, of course, if you need me. We do have weekly meetings where we get into a chat situation and we go through and share each other's work and like alpha reading kind of critique style stuff. Really, really cool. And then after that, it's just my page on. And if you want any like cover help or anything, feel free to reach out to me in Kauffman's Discord, in the WriteNow Discord. Feel free to personally message me. The Amazon page is the only other thing if anybody wants to go look at my books and see what it's all about.
Awesome. And for anyone who missed out on the Faded Fantasy competition, you guys know we just did a cover reveal, our tentative cover reveal. The links are down in the YouTube description. If you missed out, it was great. We had story readings, we had prizes, we had competing, a competition, judging, and so much more. It was such an incredible experience.
And Mr. Crow, who was epic.
And most importantly, the indubitable Mr. Crow. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, if you enjoyed the stream, tap that like button on your way out. Help us show the algorithm that writing streams are cool. I'm Kauffman, and this is
Writer of Spicy Romance.
And we'll catch you on the next stream. Words are wind, but stories are forever. I'm Kauffman, and I'll catch you on the morrow. Stay creative, writers. It's time to write
now.
Sorry.
Right now, not right now, but right now. Read now, right now. Is that right?